What's up everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Well, my husband and I's YouTube channel, but he's golfing. Doing a little YouTube video alone today, and I'm gonna be cooking myself dinner because I'm starving, and I thought it'd be fun to just talk about getting pregnant, pregnancy, postpartum, all of the things that people want to know, especially for people that are wanting to try soon or are trying currently or just curious, because it's a lot and no one really prepares you for it, and you really just have to learn as you go. Let's just start from the beginning. It's so funny looking back on this because it feels like forever ago I found out I was pregnant, but it also feels like yesterday. I feel like time is crazy and time goes so fast. Looking back on this entire experience, beginning was so hard on me. DJ and I were just at that place in our lives where we just really were wanting to kind of take the next steps, but we weren't putting any pressure on it. We had the conversation, but we just were like putting it all in God's timing of when it would happen. And fortunately for us, it did happen very fast. And I know not everyone can say that, so my heart goes out to the people that are all struggling with it. My heart goes out to you. If you're struggling, just know that you're not alone, and there's a lot of people that deal with it. But the morning that I found out I was pregnant, I woke up, and I was actually going on a walk with a friend that day, but I woke up that morning and I just had this gut feeling. This gut feeling that I was pregnant, and I just knew. I don't know why. I didn't feel sick or anything. I didn't feel weird. I just was like, I'm pregnant. Like, I just had this gut feeling. And so I had my friend come over and we went on our walk. And honestly, the whole time I was thinking about taking a pregnancy test, but I didn't tell her, obviously. And so I told myself I wasn't gonna take one until after she left. And the moment after she left, ran to the store, and I got a few tests. I got the digital one, I got the one with the lines. I think I bought like 12 tests because I was like, if this thing comes back positive, I'm gonna need to be taking like multiple. So I bought multiple tests, ran home. DJ was golfing all day that day, and he was with friends, and he wasn't gonna be home till late. And so I was like, okay, took the test. There was a faint line, but I was like, no, it can't be. Took a digital one. It was the yes or no. Came back yes within like, I think 5 seconds. Usually it takes a little bit. No, but it came back 5 seconds. It said yes. It was like flashing yes. It's so weird because I obviously had the gut feeling that I was pregnant, but I didn't really feel it until I saw that positive test. I was like, holy crap, this is real. This is happening. I'm actually going to be growing a human inside of me, and we're moving on to our next chapter. So after I got all of the positive tests, I went to the store and I got a few things to lay out in the kitchen to surprise DJ. You guys know, if you follow us on social media, that my husband loves to cook. And so I'm like, okay, how am I gonna be able to set this up without him seeing a camera? Because I knew he would be like on to me. No, he got home, everything was great. And I said, okay, I got a bunch of stuff to make for dinner, and I'm going to lay it all out, and I'm gonna surprise you with it. So we go outside while I do it. And he's like, okay. And so he goes outside, I get it all set up on the table, and the pregnancy test. Call him in. I had him close his eyes, walk over to the table, open, and he was like, took him a second to like comprehend what was in front of him, and it wasn't a meal. Obviously he immediately hugged me and everything was great, and we were all excited. That was such like a surreal moment, was telling him obviously that we were going to be having a baby. We also like kind of immediately went into panic mode because we're like, our living situation's like fine, but we're renting right now, not an ideal spot. We love this spot, but we're like, where are we gonna live? Like, we were just like, all the things. And meanwhile, in 2 weeks, we were flying to Dubai. We were going to Dubai for a work trip We're going to work with Atlantis Royal Hotel in Dubai. So we were both like, we need to tell our family, even though it's so early, we need to tell our family because we are about to fly to Dubai. Like, we feel like people need to know that I'm pregnant for some reason. I was like, we need to tell somebody. So we tell our families, they're all so excited. And at this point, like, I'm feeling great. Obviously, it was really early. But I had this feeling that I was gonna get morning sickness because my mom had just horrible morning sickness. And I had a feeling that was gonna be me too. And so I was like, oh, this is great because I'm feeling so good for Dubai. We had all of these things that we had to do while we were there, and I needed to be so on. I needed to be social. I needed to like look good, feel good. I just needed to be very present while I was there. The Atlantis Royal flies us out to Dubai. They got us like a business class seat, so we got to like lay out on the plane, and we were both just like experiencing luxury. And they like walked in and were giving us champagne, and I was like, DJ, drink my champagne, like drink it for me. And even though I wanted it so bad, it truly was such a cool experience. We get to Dubai, we go to a nice dinner, went to bed. That next morning I woke up, got all ready. I was like, oh, we're so excited, we're gonna go to the pool. We're like walking around the hotel, getting a tour. We go out to the back by the pool, and there's this guy. He's like, come over, and he was selling these like slushies, and I was like, that looks so good and refreshing, I want one. So I got like this blue slushie, super random. I don't remember the last time I had a slushie. I think I only drank half of it, and I was like, it's giving me a little bit of a gut rot. It was like super sugary. Then I was like, DJ, I don't really feel good. Like, that slushie kind of made me feel like gut rot. And then like 10 minutes went by. I was like, no, DJ, like, I think I'm gonna throw up. He's like, okay, well, do you want to go back to the room? So we go back to the room. Immediately, the morning we got to Dubai, my morning sickness started. Of course, the morning we got there on my work trip in Dubai, this most beautiful place I've ever been, I started throwing up. I'm like, are you kidding me? We're doing a little chicken rice bowl tonight. Okay, so I started throwing up, and we had our like big first event that day. So I was like, I need to get my shit together because we have obligations. I need to be places. Got myself ready, tried to like mask how I was feeling and be social and be present. It was so brutal. That whole weekend was really hard for me. I was like trying to have so much fun and be so present with where we were, where I was working, all the people we were meeting, the red carpet, like all of this stuff. Oh, this is good. On our flight home, I got on the plane and I told DJ I never wanted to smell any food from Dubai ever again. It made me nauseous. Sometimes when I think about it, it still makes me nauseous thinking about how I was feeling. And we still had the business class, which was amazing. Got to lay down. And they bring you like a 3-course meal on those flights. And I told the flight attendant, I go, I'm putting my sleeping mask on, and I'm gonna try to sleep the whole flight, so please do not wake me, because I didn't want to look at the food, I didn't want to smell it, I just wanted to like close my eyes and try to sleep as much as I could. Till about 20 weeks, I was in the bathroom every single day, and I think I threw up at least 4 times a day. Until 20 weeks pregnant, which is a very, very long time. It felt never ending. It felt like nothing could help me, which nothing really did help me. My OBGYN tried to prescribe me Zofran, which I decided against. I didn't want to take it because it's such a heavy drug, and there are side effects for your baby if you are on it. And if you take it, I'm not hating on it, but for me personally, I just didn't want any risks at all. I'm just gonna battle through this, and I'm going to get sick every day. I'm gonna be nauseous, and we're just gonna get through it. And so 20 weeks, I started feeling better. Things were going in the right direction, and at that point, we were moving back to Minnesota. So we were packing up our entire place we were renting in Florida to move back all the way to Minnesota. Luckily, looking back on it, I was starting to feel better at that point. Like, I was starting to feel more like myself. I was able to get out for walks and like actually feel like a human. So then fast forward to 3rd trimester, I felt so large and uncomfortable, but I was feeling mentally like very, very good. I was just tired and just ready to meet our baby at that point. And we were all moved into our house here in Minnesota. We were ready, we got the nursery ready. Obviously then went into labor. And if you haven't watched that video, you can go and watch it a few videos back on our YouTube channel, and I go into detail about labor and delivery. And I just want to say now that labor and delivery is amazing, and I luckily had such a good experience. I know not everybody does, but I luckily had a really good experience, and it's one of those things where I just cannot wait to do it again, because that's how incredible the hospital was. We were at, the team, the nurses, my doctor, my husband, just like everyone was so supportive, and it's the coolest experience meeting your baby for the first time. It truly is something that I'm gonna cherish forever. It's like one of my favorite memories I've ever had, and probably my favorite day, because I obviously got to meet our daughter, but then so crazy what our bodies can do. Postpartum, I feel like I was gonna have so much anxiety postpartum and deal with all that stuff, and like I can fortunately say that I did not experience anything too crazy. Obviously your emotions are all over the place. I didn't have any anxiety, which was pretty crazy for me because I am someone who does struggle with anxiety pretty bad. My anxiety settled down. I weirdly felt very calm. One thing that I did struggle with for the longest time, and still do, is I have these like crazy intrusive thoughts. So if like somebody's holding Raina too close to a staircase, I have like a vivid vision of her tumbling down the stairs, and I can feel how I feel in that moment, and it's crazy. I don't even know how your mind works that way, and why I still deal with it sometimes, but intrusive thoughts can take over, and sometimes DJ's like, it's okay, Jacqueline, like she's good, whatever, but it still happens. I'm like, oh, she's walking on the concrete, like she's gonna trip and fall on her face, and like I can like see it. It's so crazy. But anyway, so I dealt with that for the longest time, and still do sometimes to this day, and she's 10 months now. For my breastfeeding journey, I will say that wasn't great. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't the best. She latched right away, luckily. At first it was fairly easy and very good. I will say it was pretty painful for me. They say when some babies don't have the best latch, it can be very painful. So I had a lot of bleeding and that. So people don't really prepare you for that type of pain for after. And also people don't prepare you for how much you're going to be bleeding after. I will say to anybody who's expecting a baby, all you're doing is preparing for your baby. But you also need to prepare for yourself, for your postpartum journey, because stock up on, the nursing bras, and stock up on the comfortable underwear and the comfy clothes, and like the nipple cream and the big maxi pads and all of this stuff that you don't really want to think about, but you do need. And I will say they give you a lot in the hospital. So whatever they give you in the room, please take. You're paying for it anyway. So take it out of the room with you when you leave. 3 months, I just started exclusively pumping, because she was kind of like, she would latch, it would hurt really bad, and I would just be like wincing in pain because it would hurt so much. Okay, sorry, my camera died, and this is so much more clear anyway. I don't know why I'm not using this. Was like, I'm not going to sit here in pain and just try to breastfeed you, and I'll just start pumping, because at that point pumping was fairly easy for me, and I was feeling very confident in it. And it was nice to be able to give DJ a bottle too, so he could also feed her, and it wasn't just all stuck on me, because I felt like, obviously I was the only one that could feed her when I was breastfeeding. So when I started pumping, I was like, this is great, because we can take turns feeding her, and then I can like fit in a shower every once in a while. I exclusively pumped until about 7 months, and I will say that is one full-time job. Pumping in itself is very hard. It's time consuming, and I felt like I was constantly plugged in. But then on the other hand, I wasn't in pain anymore with the breastfeeding, and there's a lot of pluses and minuses to everything. But I will say it was time consuming, And at 7 months, I just looked at DJ and I'm like, I think I'm done. He was like, okay, then be done. Because if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. And, you know, there's other ways. And I had a bunch of milk stored in our freezer. And then I was just going to start introducing some formula. When I completely cut out pumping, I immediately started feeling better. I started feeling more like myself. I felt more like a human. I didn't feel like a cow. And I just was just like, I have my body back to myself, and I just felt really good. And I think, you know, they say it takes a while to get back to yourself, but at that point, when I was fully done, I will say I felt like myself again. I'm so glad that I did it. Congratulate all the people that do it longer. Like, you are a super mom. People just don't talk about it enough, and how hard it is and how much it takes a toll on you. Those things were the most I've struggled with postpartum. I can say that fortunately I've had such a good experience with it, and becoming a mom is the best thing in the entire world. And there's so many ups and downs and so many hurdles and so many learning curves, but it's been so great. And if you're pregnant and you're expecting your first, I'm so excited for you, and you're gonna do great. You learn as you go. It's the best chapter that you're going to be entering into. If you're a mom now, we're in this together. I want to build a bigger mom community on here because I love sharing tips and tricks with each other and just being there for one another. Moms supporting moms is just the best thing. So thank you guys for watching this video. I was getting a lot of requests for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it honest. We'll see you guys in our next video. Mwah.